The next day, Discord growled as he flashed in front of Twilight's castle. He had to join this week's friendship council. He missed as many of them as he could, but this time Twilight had insisted that he'd be there. However, he wasn't in the best of moods after not getting much sleep again. Every time he closed his eyes, she was there to haunt him. These were not his usual nightmares, although he almost wished they were. Almost. He felt a reluctant smile tug at his lips as he thought of one of those dreams. He wrapped his tail around her, pulling her fully against him, holding her close to his heart. He held her, inhaling her sweet scent, running his nose through her soft mane, tickling her ear with his warm breath. She nuzzled the fur on his neck and sighed. He lifted her chin up to stare into her eyes as he stroked her mane. He remembered wrapping his arms around her and... "Oh my, you don't suppose he's sick?" asked Rarity. Hello, any pony home?" Rainbow Dash shouted. "I don't think he can even hear us, y'all. Just give him some chocolate." Chocolate. While you're at it, I'll take some too." Their voices brought him back. He opened his eyes only to stare into the ones he had just been imagining. "Oh, thank goodness. I thought something was wrong." Discord was pretty sure his face was the same color as Applejack's cutie mark. All his friends were staring at him, waiting for an answer. Oh, fudge. "Oh, I was just thinking that it sure is a lovely day out." 4 pair of suspicious eyes stared at him as Fluttershy relaxed and smiled at him. "Why, yes it is." She let out a squeak as his arm snaked out and pulled her close. He ignored the pounding of his heart. "Yes, but I think it seems it still needs something." He grinned at the ponies. "I think Pinkie is absolutely right. We could all use some chocolate." He snapped his fingers and pink clouds filled the sky. His friends started shouting at him while he stared at the cotton candy clouds. "Oh, wait, I know what this calls for," Pinkie yelled and took off, returning in a second. Oh, for the love of... He slapped his face, a giant swivel straw. "Hey, knock it off, that's not funny," Rainbow Dash shouted as she pounded her hooves together. She looked so ridiculous, threatening him. He snickered. "Please don't, Discord. It'll ruin my hair," Rarity whined. He laid his ears back. Her high-pitched voice could cause any creature to cringe in pain. "You cut that out, Discord. You promised to behave." "Well, technically, Applejack, I said most of the time." "Discord!" Little Pegasus scolded as she pulled out of his grip and frowned at him while she crossed her hooves. He smiled. Even though she was angry, she was adorable. "You know better. You really shouldn't make it rain on every pony for your amusements." He laughed and pulled her to him again. He couldn't seem to stop himself. He patted the top of her head and smiled at the ponies. "Relax, friends. I was only kidding. You all should take a lesson from Pinkie Pie and learn to relax." He let go of Fluttershy and snapped his fingers, and instantly the clouds disappeared, and the sky was its boring blue self again. All the ponies sighed in relief. Well, all but one. But I brought my straw," Pinkie pouted. A giant glass of chocolate milk with whipped cream appeared in front of her. She looked up at it and screamed before jumping into it. In a matter of seconds, all the milk was gone. "Pinkie, really, darling, you shouldn't drink so fast," Rarity exclaimed. Pinkie jumped down, licking her lips. She hopped up to Discord and hugged him. Then she hopped away, heading into the castle, cheerfully saying over her shoulder, "Thanks for not forgetting the dollop this time." "Oh, well, that's Pinkie for you," Rainbow shrugged and flew after her. The others rolled their eyes and followed. Discord scratched his head. "I'm the Lord of Chaos, and not making sense, and even I can't figure out where she put all that chocolate." Fluttershy, who was walking beside him, heard this and giggled. He smiled at her and then leaned down to whisper, "You don't suppose she's got some Draconicus in her family?" Fluttershy let out a quiet laugh so the others couldn't hear her. Her laugh was so intoxicating. He continued to watch her walk beside him. Her pink mane was so pretty, and he knew soft as silk. He longed to reach out and run his claws through it. He immediately shook himself when he realized he had lifted his arm to do that. "Dear Celestia, I'm losing my mind. If I don't stop this soon, I'm going to go mad. Well, more so than I already am." He chuckled to himself, causing her to glare up at him. Twilight greeted everyone, even him, with a hug. This still took some getting used to. She was a lot more accepting of him since the T-Rex incident. kind of ironic that it took him betraying her, then giving her a true sign of his friendship for her to fully see him as a friend. How was Canterlot, darling? Rarity inquired as everyone took their seats in the council room. As he didn't have one, he chose to float above them as a cloud. On a cloud. It's always a pleasure to see the princess, and this time was no exception. She showed me some new master level spells. I want to try that, but that will mean more studying. Do you do anything besides study when you go to Canterlot? Well, Rainbow, now that you mentioned it, I did have a certain stallion from the Wonderbolts ask if you were coming to visit anytime soon. Every pony turned to see Rainbow's face growing crimson. Soren? I mean, oh, how sweet. Why didn't you tell us you and Soren were courting, Rainbow? Rarity beamed in excitement. Because I didn't, I mean, oh, never mind. Can we please go back to why we're here? Fine, but I'm not letting this go, you know. Rarity put her nose in the air. Rainbow groaned. Well, I wanted to see all my friends now that I'm back, but the main reason I asked everyone here was because I have a message to relay. Yeah. They all nodded for her to continue. Discord had to hide a yawn. Well, as you all know, we've started preparations for Nightmare Night. Well, I just informed by Princess Luna that she wants to visit Ponyville again for the celebration. They all shouted with joy at the sudden news. Yeehaw, we all ain't that a hoot. Why, she's never been back for another Nightmare Night since the first one she came to. Wait, doesn't she always come to scare the little foals like she promised? Pinky scratched her head. Oh yeah, you're right. Well, at least this year she'll be able to enjoy all the fair's activities. They all nodded and Rarity clapped her hooves. Oh, we should have a formal ball. Oh, it should be divine. Every pony is in beautiful gowns, dancing. Disco had been extremely bored and was falling asleep. Suddenly, he perked up at this. Dancing, he glanced over at Fluttershy, and it wasn't hard to conjure an image of her in a beautiful gown. He felt himself flush a deep red. Twilight thought about Rarity's suggestion. I think it would be a good way to end the night once all the colts and fillies have gotten enough to bed. However, I don't think we need anything too big. After all, this will just be a casual visit. But this is Princess Luna. Surely we should do something grand to mark this momentous event. She does have a valid point, Twi. Maybe we should do something nice for the princess. Applejack shrugged her shoulders. Discord looked around at all the ponies, and he had a feeling that the dance was losing ground. Twilight seemed against it. Rainbow looked anything but interested in something so girly. Applejack was sitting in the fence, neither agreeing or disagreeing, and Pinky didn't care as long as they had a party to throw. I don't know. I don't think Luna would want us making such a big deal. How about a compromise? They all glanced up at Discord, surprised. He hardly said anything at the meetings, at least anything helpful. What do you suggest then, Discord? Twilight raised her eyebrow at him curiously. She seemed almost afraid to ask. He glanced at Fluttershy again. He didn't like the idea of something so formal like the Grand Galloping Gala, but he really wanted to see her all dressed up and maybe even get a chance to dance with her. Maybe just something smaller than a grand ball. That's the word you used, Rarity. Sorbet? Do you mean soiree? Oh, what a marvelous idea. Never thought I'd say that about one of your suggestions. We could tone it down so it's a little more than a themed dance, Twilight, if that's more to your liking. Twilight thought about it, then looked around at all of them. Well, okay, why not? After all, I'm sure Luna will enjoy herself no matter what we do. Now, let's go over the list I made. Twilight started telling all of them what still needed to be done and their duties, but Discord was lost in his own thoughts. Just imagine watching her glide in, dressed in the most glorious of gowns. She would be the most beautiful mare there. He would be able to take her to the dance floor. Wait, would she even consider dancing with some pony like him? Maybe if he begged. It would be like a dream, holding her close in his arms, swaying to the music, leaning into each other, eyes closing. Discord! Twilight shouted as he jumped, falling off the cloud, but this time he caught himself before he hit the floor. Ha! Not this time, he pointed to the ground, then looked around. Every pony was giving him odd looks. Anyways, Discord, were you listening to a word I just said now? He flashed himself over to Twilight's throne, wrapping himself around it. Can't say I was, maybe there was something in my ears. He pulled out a piece of cotton candy out of his ears and flicked it towards Rarity, and she screamed only for it to disappear before hitting her. She scowled at Discord while he and the others laughed. Twilight rolled her eyes and focused on Discord. I was saying that I had another idea that would make the night special and I need your help with it. Surprised he pointed at himself. Twilight smiled and nodded. What do you want me to do? I should let you know I don't deal with small ponies, so I'm not doing chaperone duty. No, silly. Applejack and I will be taking care of the fools and their trick-or-treats. Just think of all that candy. Pinkie bounced in her seat. No, Discord. What I'm talking about is something only you can do. I want you to use your magic for a haunted house. His mouth fell to the floor. He picked it up and locked it back into place and shook his head. I'm sorry, I must have some fluff in my ear. Did you just say you wanted me to use my magic to scare ponies? Twilight nodded, and a hot water bottle appeared in her head and a thermometer in her mouth. Oh, girls, I fear that our dear Princess Twilight has something life-threatening illness. She's clearly not thinking straight. Ha, what are you? Ah! He picked up Twilight. Don't worry, we'll get you back to normal. Serious, bossy self. Hey, I'm not bossy, she shouted as she flew out of his arms. Rainbow started laughing. No, but he did forget Egghead. Hey! The others joined in the laughter, and even Twilight found herself smiling after a moment. Seriously though, Discord, I thought you would be excited. You can use your powers, silly feat that is, to scare every pony. It's all in good fun. Why hesitate? He thought of his dream self and cringed at the words taunted him. Tell me you can really give me up for her. You should know better than to fight your true nature. What if he couldn't control himself and the ponies only grew more suspicious of him? What if some pony got hurt and his friends got angry with him? He glances at Fluttershy. What if she goes to hate me? Discord, if you don't want to, you can just always say no. Twilight looked at him with confusion and concern. What? Oh, I'm just also confused. Whose idea was this exactly? Oh, it wasn't mine, but I did agree to it right away. Okay, so whose? Oh, it was mine. After I saw how sad you were, I came to Twilight and suggested we do something to cheer you up. I hope that was alright. He looked over to the soft-spoken voice and watched Fluttershy hide behind her mane. You asked Twilight to help me feel better? She nodded. Well, yes, I couldn't stand to see you so upset and doubting yourself. So I explained how you were feeling to Twilight. She then suggested maybe having you help with the bear. That's when I said that you should use your magic for something that's safe but feels natural. But if you don't want to, he flew over to her and scooped her into his arms. He hugged her tight against him, feeling her warmth seeping into him. She was giving him the freedom he wanted, but at the same time proving that he could be trusted. If there had been any doubt left, it was long gone now. Oh yes, he loved this mare so very much, and he wouldn't let her down. Of course I want to, friends. I'll make sure this is the best haunted house in Equestria. Then he whispered so only she could hear. Thank you, my dear. You're still the sweetest mare I know. I don't know how I can repay you for this gift. She hugged him and whispered in his ear what she wanted. His ears fell back and he dropped her. She shrieked and put out her wings to catch herself. Oh my, I'm sorry, did I hear you right, my dear? She smiled and nodded. So, is that all for today, Twilight? Fluttershy asked Alicorn, who was looking over the checklist once more. What? Oh yes, that will be all for today. We have a lot to do before the end of the week. I'll be checking in on everyone's progress, so I'll see you girls in Discord later. Now I have to go over these changes with Spike. They all said their goodbyes and walked out. When they were outside, he stopped following them and just stared after Fluttershy. Of all things she could have said, that was the last thing he expected to hear. He felt a giant smile spread across his face as he laid his paw over his heart. At the festival, I want to be your first dance.